Greetings, true believers, and welcome to another strange episode of History of the Marvel Universe. This show is sponsored in part by Patreon supporters. If you would like to contribute and vote in monthly polls, you can head over to patreon.com/MaryMarvelate and sign up for as little as $1 per month. For this week's tale, we begin on the extra-dimensional planet known as Raval. There lived a horned being not dissimilar to a Minotaur named Rintrah. While Rintrah's physical appearance was considered normal by Raval's standards, his magical potential caught the eye of an ancient sorcerer named Enatharmon the Weaver. His specialty was the sewing and weaving of mystical fabrics, hence the title. Enatharmon took Rintrah in and brought him back to his own planet. There, the old sorcerer tutored his new apprentice in the basics of magic and passed on his specialized skills. Meanwhile, Dr. Strange, the Sorcerer Supreme of Earth's dimension, engaged in an occult battle with a mischievous creature called a Cat. While Strange was ultimately successful in banishing the demon, his mystical cloak of levitation was badly damaged. He attempted to repair the magical item himself, but it soon became clear that such a task was outside his skill set. And so Stephen Strange sought out Enatharmon, bringing the cloak so it could be properly mended. The Weaver agreed and promised to have it delivered once the task was completed. Ironically, while Dr. Strange was without his own cloak, he returned home by passing through the Dark Force dimension and aided the vigilante named Cloak. Meanwhile, another of Strange's allies during this time was a witch known as Topaz. She had previously encountered the ancient super-demon Mephisto, one of several entities to claim the moniker of Satan. For a time, she was trapped in Mephisto's hell, where her soul was broken into two halves. When Franklin Richards, the powerful son of Mr. Fantastic and the Invisible Woman, temporarily destroyed Mephisto, it caused an upheaval in hell, allowing Topaz to escape. However, one half of her soul was cast out into the universe, coming close to the planet Gavaltu. It was found and obtained by the Sorcerer Supreme of that world, Urthona. It should also be noted that Rintrah, Enatharmon, and Urthona are all names that appear in the works of the 18th century poet William Blake. However, it's unknown if any connection exists between Blake's work and these entities within the canon of the Marvel Universe. Learning of the Earth, Urthona planned to usurp Dr. Strange and become the Sorcerer Supreme of their dimension. For the first part of his plot, he dispatched his champion, Orc, to attack Strange on Earth. In the ensuing battle, Strange's physical body was badly injured. However, he was able to secure victory by using his astral form to inhabit the body of his ally, Morgana Blessing, and give the alien warrior to another demonic hell lord, Satanish. Meanwhile, Urthona used his half of Topaz's soul to manipulate her from afar. He tricked her into making contact through the Mirror of Extrospection in Dr. Strange's Sanctum Sanctorum, allowing Urthona to transport the entire building and its contents to the planet Gavaltu. Urthona then held Topaz captive along with Strange's assistant Wong and claimed many powerful magical items from the Sanctum, including the Book of Sins known as the Darkhold. Meanwhile, Enatharmon the Weaver dispatched his apprentice Rintrah to bring Dr. Strange his repaired Cloak of Levitation. Rintrah then joined forces with the Sorcerer Supreme, allowing Strange's spirit to inhabit his body while his own healed. Seeking a way to reach Gavaltu, they consulted with the super scientist, Mr. Fantastic, who lent them a Skrull spaceship that had previously belonged to an alien dictator named Kurgo. Loading Stephen's human body onto the alien craft, the two sorcerers quickly made their way to their destination. Once there, Dr. Strange battled Urthona with Rintrah's body. Meanwhile, Rintrah's spirit possessed Strange's body and used it to steal back the lost half of Topaz's soul and return it to her. Ultimately, Strange defeated Urthona by seemingly destroying the stolen artifacts and depriving the alien ruler of their powers. However, the Darkhold, having been written by the elder god Cthon, could not be destroyed, and Urthona used it to escape. Meanwhile, the mystical being known as Agamotto, regarded as the first Sorcerer Supreme, did not want these items reduced to nothingness and instead summoned them to himself, saving them. This included the Darkhold, which disappeared from Urthona's hands moments after he teleported to safety. Although he was without many of his tools, Doctor Strange was able to return his Sanctum Sanctorum to its proper place. However, what followed was a difficult time for him with his home ransacked. Rintrah remained by Strange's side for a time, using his skills to repair what he could. Although he was a relative novice in the ways of magic, Rintrah aided Strange on several adventures, including a rematch against Kat. But despite Rintrah's help, Strange was forced to use black magic to protect the Earth from invading forces. Because of this, he was no longer able to use the mystical Eye of Agamotto and entrusted it into Rintrah's care. His use of darker spells also drew the attention of another sorcerer who practiced black magic, Kalu. An old enemy of Strange's teacher, the Ancient One, Kalu had previously attempted to steal the mystical Book of the Vishanti. Strange and the Ancient One used the book to defeat Kalu, banishing him to a faraway dimension, but his exile ended when the book was pulled from their dimension by Agamotto. However, Kalu did not desire revenge, but rather to teach Doctor Strange in the ways of black magic to better prepare him for much more dangerous threats. You see, the removal of Strange's talismans from the Earth's dimension also collapsed certain barriers holding back ancient horrors known as the Great Old Ones. Kalu knew this, and not wanting the world to be destroyed, sought out Strange in an attempt to make him his disciple. While Strange initially refused, he agreed to an alliance and slowly learned Kalu's dark arts. He eventually attained something akin to godhood and defeated the Old One, Shuma Gorath, at the cost of his sense of self. After that, Enitharmon the Weaver intervened and used his own magic to restore Strange's humanity and put him back on the right path. Recognizing that Strange needed time to recover after his ordeals, Rintrah returned to his home dimension with Enitharmon. Of course, before he did, he returned the Eye of Agamotto to Doctor Strange. Rintrah continued learning from Enitharmon, but soon the Weaver had nothing more to teach him, and so he then returned to Earth and asked to become Doctor Strange's apprentice. Strange agreed, and Rintrah moved into the Sanctum Sanctorum. He also found himself growing attracted to the human woman Topaz. It was during this time that Agamotto returned to Doctor Strange the books and talismans that he'd thought destroyed. Rintrah learned from Strange and provided support during several battles. He proved his heroism after becoming convinced that Strange was being bewitched by the Asgardian Enchantress. Seeking to protect his master, Rintrah used magic to impersonate Strange and confront the villain. As a result, he was subjected to several life-draining kisses that were meant for Strange. Rintrah was rendered unconscious, but the real Doctor Strange, who had never actually fallen for the Enchantress's charms, arrived to save him. Furthermore, before leaving to confront the Enchantress, Rintrah had contacted Strange's first apprentice, Clea, who arrived to help win the battle. And so, as Rintrah continued to train with Strange, his skills with magic slowly grew. He also developed an appreciation for aspects of Earth's culture, specifically television. However, he perhaps needed to learn to use his powers responsibly, as he once brought a pile of trash to life so it would move without him needing to pick it up. While this may have worked, he failed to properly end the spell, and the garbage monster added to itself and grew. Noticing his mistake, Rintrah battled his creation until Doctor Strange arrived to destroy it. He later aided his master in his conflicts with the voodoo priestess Marie Laveau by battling Dragonus, a minotauric demon she summoned using the Darkhold. Rintrah was badly injured in that fight, but fortunately made a full recovery. He further proved his capacity for heroism and self-sacrifice after Topaz suffered from demonic possession at the hands of Mephisto, the daughter of Mephisto. Strange and his allies began gathering ingredients to perform an exorcism ritual, one of which was a demon's flame. This led them to the Ghost Rider, Danny Ketch, while he was battling the supervillain Zodiac. Strange joined forces with the Rider to battle against the Zodiac's demonic masters, the Dykors. Meanwhile, Rintrah accompanied Topaz as they headed back to the Sanctum Sanctorum in magical disguises. When they seemingly dropped their disguises and separated, Zodiac attacked Topaz, seeking to claim more human blood for his dark masters. However, Rintrah had suspected that the attack was coming and used his magic to disguise himself as Topaz and vice versa. While the Ghost Rider went after Zodiac, Strange brought Rintrah back to the Sanctum. Once there, the Sorcerer Supreme removed the taint of evil magic from within the wound and used his medical skills to close it. After that, with the ingredients they'd gathered, Strange succeeded in separating Mephisto from Topaz. The demon then attempted to kill Topaz by throwing her against a wall, and despite his weakened condition, Rintrah saved her life by catching her. After his recovery, Rintrah continued to aid Dr. Strange, including during the crisis surrounding the Infinity Gauntlet. Although Rintrah's impulsiveness often got him into trouble, Strange was impressed by his heroism and willingness to sacrifice himself to protect others, and so Strange became more determined to help Rintrah master his abilities. He also provided him with a book collecting the works of William Shakespeare to better help him understand human emotions. One day, Rintrah used a human guise to accompany another of Strange's allies, Sarah Wolfe, to a performance of A Midsummer Night's Dream in Central Park. During the play, a young boy nearly fell from a nearby cliffside. Rintrah used his magic to catch him, but his lapse in concentration caused his disguise to drop. Fortunately, he was able to escape without causing a panic by pretending to be a part of the show, although his performance did make the papers the following morning. Rintrah also studied records of Strange's enemies, learning of many evil forces that have threatened the Earth. Finally, due to his heroic efforts, Rintrah was gifted the Amulet of Agamotto and a blue Cloak of Levitation, both of which were worn by Strange early in his career. His skills improving, Rintrah single-handedly banished the evil entity known as the House of Shadows after it had taken the form of a condominium. However, he later came upon a cult who worshipped the snake-like entity known as Tartessus. This being was able to possess Rintrah and used his body to attack Dr. Strange. Tartessus captured Strange and brought him back to its home dimension, but Rintrah regained his senses and pursued, rescuing his master. Upon returning to Earth, Rintrah destroyed the cult's talisman of Tartessus, preventing the creature from following. However, the talisman was mystically booby-trapped, and Rintrah was grievously injured. To keep his pupil alive, Strange sealed Rintrah in a suspended state and placed him into another astral plane for safekeeping. While Rintrah was not seen for quite some time after this, a group of fairies once referred to him as a cowterpillar in a cow-coon, speculating that he would soon return in a more advanced form. These fairies, who live in a ficus tree belonging to the sorcerer Ian McNee, evidently admired Rintrah because he once saved their princess. While his current form has not been seen, Rintrah has evidently recovered since then and is now listed as an instructor teaching Math 1 at Strange Academy. And so we'll almost certainly see him again someday, but that's all I've got for you this week, so thank you so much for watching this video. If you enjoyed it, please leave a like, share the video, and subscribe for more marvelous content. Be sure to leave a comment letting me know what Marvel hero or villain you want to hear about next, and as always, the issues referenced in this video are listed in the description below if you would like to read them for yourself, as well as links to other places you can find me, including the Patreon page where for only $1 a month you can get your name in these special thanks here. So until next time, true believers, Excelsior!